Attention, Mountaineer family. The commencement ceremony is about to begin. At this time, please locate the nearest emergency exit. Please silence your cell phones, tablets, and electronic devices and turn your attention to the outstanding students who are the focus of this day. This is their moment to shine, so please give them and their many accomplishments your full attention. Now, let's get ready to welcome our graduates.
Today, we honor West Virginia University's 2019 August and December graduates, 149 years after Marmaduke H. Dent became the university's first graduate and first advanced graduate. Please welcome West Virginia University's candidates for graduation. The School of Dentistry is represented by a lilac banner carried by Dr. Keith Hildebrand, Chair of Endodontics. The College of Law is represented by a purple banner. The School of Medicine is represented by a green banner carried by Michelle Costas, Assistant Professor and Director of the Pathologist Assistant Program. The Davis College of Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Design marches behind a burnt orange banner carried by Dr. Nicole Waterland, Associate Professor of Horticulture. The School of Nursing marches behind an apricot-colored banner carried by Dr. Michelle Borland, Teaching Assistant Professor of Nursing. The School of Pharmacy is represented by an olive-colored banner carried by Dr. Mary Euler, Professor and Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs. The Benjamin M. Statler College of Engineering and Mineral Resources marches behind an orange banner carried by bachelor's degree candidate Addison Nordstrom. The School of Public Health marches behind a salmon-colored banner carried by bachelor's degree candidate Kenzie Blasinski. The College of Creative Arts marches behind a pink banner carried by Dr. Yoav Kadar, Associate Professor of Dance. The College of Education and Human Services marches behind a light blue banner carried by Dr. Jessica Troilo, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. The College of Physical Activity and Sports Sciences marches behind a teal banner carried by bachelor's degree candidate Tyler Sierzega. And now, please welcome members of the Platform Party. Dr. Foti Panagakis, Associate Dean for Research, School of Dentistry. Dr. Louise Veselicki, Associate Vice President for Health Sciences, Academic Affairs. Dr. Tanya Rogers, Associate Dean of Academics and Chair, Department of Health, School of Nursing. Dr. William Petros, Gates Wigner Dean, School of Pharmacy. Dr. Jeffrey Coben, Associate Vice President for Health Affairs and Dean, School of Public Health. Dr. Keith Jackson, Dean, College of Creative Arts. Dr. Tracy Morris, Interim Dean, College of Education and Human Services. Dr. Jack Watson, Dean and Professor of Physical Education, College of Physical Activity and Sports Sciences. Dr. Gregory Bowman, William J. Mayer Jr., Dean and Professor of Law, College of Law. Dr. Ken Blemmings, Interim Dean, Davis College of Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Design. Dr. Earl Seamy, Interim Dean, Benjamin M. Statler, College of Engineering and Mineral Resources. Members of the Senior Academic Administration of West Virginia University. Members of the West Virginia University Board of Governors. Dr. Emily Murphy, Faculty Senate Chair. Dr. Patrice Harris, Presidential Honorary Degree recipient and today's commencement speaker. Grand Marshal Chad Proudfoot, carrying the University Mace, and Marianne Reed, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at West Virginia University. Please rise for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Katie Martin.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing for the singing of the Alma Mater.
Alma, our alma mater, the home of mountaineers, sing we of thy honor, everlasting through the
You may be seated.
Good afternoon. On behalf of West Virginia University's faculty, staff, students, Board of Governors, and administration, I am delighted to welcome all of you to our December commencement ceremony. To our December graduates, we are here today to celebrate a milestone achievement in your life. This is a big day representing a major accomplishment. Over the past several years, you have faced and overcome a myriad of challenges. You've studied hard, worked hard, and perhaps played hard, but all those efforts have finally paid off. Because after today, assuming you pass your final exams, you will cross the finish line with your diploma in hand. Today is your day, a day to celebrate and take stock of how far you've come. A day to rest on your laurels before you begin the next leg of your journey. Many of you are probably a bit anxious about what lies ahead. You're leaving the safety net of college and graduate school and entering into a future that is exciting but is also unknown. You're entering into a world that is changing by the minute, transformed by ideas, innovation, and technology. On this journey, there is no Google Maps or Waze app to guide you. There are so many directions you could take, and some possible wrong turns. That's a bit scary, right? But I have a few thoughts to share that should give you comfort and allay your fears. First of all, thanks to your education at West Virginia University, you now have the tools and the knowledge to be successful in the world. Your WVU degree has value and will open doors for you just as it has for our thousands and thousands of successful alumni, including today's fantastic commencement speaker. Second, you have the talent, intellect, and fortitude that will serve you well in whatever career path you choose. We know that because we know you after our time together. Your degree has value, and so do you. Third, you can never be lost if you follow your own internal compass by paying attention to what your head is telling you, and more importantly, by listening to your heart. Lots and lots of people, including the people who love you best, will have ideas about what you should do and where you should go. But in the end, the most exciting journey is the one that you chart for yourself. Find what motivates you, what inspires you, what gives your life meaning and purpose. Trust me, nobody knows better than you the best path to take. Finally, here's the best news of all. In life's journey, there are no wrong turns. That's right. Whatever you do, wherever you go, you will encounter obstacles and challenges along the way. But you will find a way out and a way forward if you stay strong, are open to opportunity, and rely on family and friends to share in the good times and support you during the bad times. And I can tell you from my own experience that the path you start out on may take you in unexpected directions. For example, when I graduated from college, sitting where you are today, many moons ago, I thought I would have a career as a journalist. It was my life's passion to become a globe-trotting foreign correspondent, or so I thought. In fact, after a few wrong turns, I found my true calling as a professor, then as a dean, now as WVU's provost and chief academic officer. Had I not taken a few detours, not zigged instead of zagged, not listened to my intuition and the lessons of the heart, I would never have found my way here, to this place, to this podium, to this moment where I get to celebrate your success and share in your joy, which from my vantage point is just about as good as it gets. Somebody else who is reveling in your success today is the best university president in America, E. Gordon Gee. And while he couldn't be here today in person, he is here in spirit and he has a message for you.
Greeting to our 2019 Mountaineer graduates, families, and friends. I am so sorry that I cannot be with you in person on this most important occasion in your life and our university's life. As you continue traveling toward your dreams in the years ahead, you will quickly learn to expect the occasional detour. So my doctor sent me down just such a byway this month. Apparently, being America's hippest university president is not enough anymore. They promise that by replacing my joints with a little plastic and titanium, they will make me ultra hip. The timing could not be worse, however, because I am missing the conclusion of a journey years in the making, propelled by hard work, sacrifice, and struggle. Of course, I'm talking about the premiere of Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. I was all ready to cosplay as Baby Yoda, but I'm also talking about graduation and the culmination of your current saga. Over the past 40 years, I have presided at more graduation ceremonies than just about anyone on the planet. Commencement is a fuel to my soul, and each time I look out into a sea of graduates' happy, hopeful faces, I feel as excited as I did on my own college graduation day 51 years ago. Your West Virginia University story will have many sequels, each more full of drama, adventure, and surprising plot twists than the last. And every journeying hero requires an older, wiser mentor whose advice can smooth the path ahead. So, think of me as your Dumbledore to your Harry, the Gandalf to your Frodo, or yes, the Yoda to your Skywalker. And accept a few quick words of wisdom. Fear is the path to the dark side. In our angry age, true bravery is keeping your eyes open to new vistas, keeping your ears open to new ideas, and keeping your heart open to new friends. Always pass on what you have learned. That means letting others know that education opens doors to success. Finally, and above all, do or not do. There is no try. Life is about finding your purpose, and your choices should serve that purpose. You may not need to save the world, but you can use your passion and your knowledge to make it better. Mountaineer determination will guide you. The skills and strengths you have honed here will advance you. The goodwill of 200,000 other West Virginia University graduates will sustain you, and your own inner calling will drive you to do, rather than try, the right things. I cannot wait to see how your story unfolds. And since they say my hip replacement will give me a whole new lease on life, I should be around to watch for another 75 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
And now, would Dr. Patrice Harris and Dr. Emily Murphy, Faculty Senate Chair, please join me at the podium for the presentation of our Presidential Honorary Degree. Dr. Patrice Harris is a renowned child and adolescent psychiatrist from Atlanta, Georgia. In June 2019, she was sworn in as the 174th President of the American Medical Association, and she is the first African-American woman to hold this position. Dr. Harris has diverse experience as a private practicing physician, public health administrator, patient advocate, and medical society lobbyist. On both national and local levels, Dr. Harris has spearheaded efforts to integrate public health, behavioral health, and primary care services while incorporating efforts to address the social determinants of health. Active in organized medicine her entire career, she was first elected to the American Medical Association Board of Trustees in 2011 and has held the executive offices of AMA Board Secretary and AMA Board Chair. Dr. Harris has also been active on several other AMA task force and committees on health information technology, payment and delivery reform, and private contracting. She has chaired the influential AMA Council on Legislation and co-chaired the Women's Physicians Congress. Dr. Harris will continue to serve as chair of the AMA Opioid Task Force, which she has led since its inception in 2014, and will work to elevate the importance of mental health as part of overall health, health equity, and improving the diversity of the physician workforce and the impact of childhood trauma on health. A native of Bluefield, West Virginia, Dr. Harris earned her master's degree in counseling and her medical degree at WVU. During that time, her passion for helping children emerged, and she completed her psychiatric residency and fellowships in child and adolescent psychiatry and forensic psychiatry at the Emory University School of Medicine. In 2007, she was inducted into the West Virginia University Academy of Distinguished Alumni. Currently, Dr. Harris continues in private practice and consults with both public and private organizations on health service delivery and emerging trends in practice and health policy. She is an adjunct assistant professor in the Emory Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences and an adjunct clinical assistant professor in psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Morehouse School of Medicine. Patrice A. Harris, on this day, December 21st, 2019, in recognition of your distinguished career and by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the Presidential Honorary Degree, honoris causa, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Presidential Honorary Degree recipient and today's commencement speaker, Dr. Patrice Harris.
Thank you so much, Madam Provost. I am honored by your invitation to speak today. As a three-time graduate of West Virginia University and current member of the board of the WVU Foundation, I can bear personal witness to the scholarship, the leadership, commitment, and dedication that surrounds this wonderful university. It is meaningful beyond measure to have the opportunity to give this address at my alma mater and in my home state. I would certainly again like to recognize Provost Reed and also stage and platform guests. And on a note of personal privilege, I had the wonderful opportunity to have dinner with Dr. Gee last night, and I just want to send him my best wishes for a continued recovery. WVU is a special place with a special mission. As you know, it's a land-grant institution. And as Dr. Gee recently noted, a place with purpose as its polar star. Dr. Gee signed my first diploma from WVU, so it is a special honor for me to first of all continue to be engaged and involved with the university, especially on his second go-around here as president, and to receive an honorary degree today, also with his signature. What a joyous day this is. Graduates, congratulations to all of you, and to your moms and your dads, your grandmoms and grandpas, meemaws, as I used to call my grandmother, Mama Harris and Mama Hattie, your aunts, uncles, husbands, wives, spouses, significant others, siblings, and friends, whomever is in your circle of support. They have stood by you, supported you, listened to you, strengthened you, and yes, I imagine they even cried with you as you have been on your journeys. So please, graduates, join me in a round of applause for your circles of support that are in this room. Not so long ago, well, and as Marianne and I were talking in the entryway, maybe a little longer than I care to admit, I sat where you sit now. And I can vividly remember the excitement, the fear, the apprehension, and the doubt I felt at the beginning of my journey, hoping one day that I might fulfill the promise that so many helped me achieve. I want to start out today with a story, actually a story told from my undergraduate days here at West Virginia University. So my classmates and I were sitting around talking, and one of my classmates mentioned a story about his nephew who walked into the house one day after his graduation from kindergarten and proudly announced that he did not need to go on to the first grade, as he had learned everything he needed to know in kindergarten. In today's lingo, that would be #I'm done, #kindergarten, right? And by the way, he had thought out his rationale for making this statement. He said, I learned my ABCs, I learned how to take turns, and I know how to share. So what else is there, right? But you know, digging beneath the hashtag and the headline, which by the way, we all should do, there was wisdom in his pronouncement. First, let's consider the ABCs, right? ABCs are foundational for reading, and I know graduates in this room, you've done a lot of reading, right, to get to where you are today, so that's certainly an important skill. What about taking turns? If you think about it, taking turns is foundational skill of acknowledging and acting on a mutual respect for others and the idea that everyone deserves an opportunity. How about sharing? In the act of sharing, we affirm that others matter, and it's not all about me, right? That the collective, our community, is important. So I'll give credit to Lamar, that was his name. I'll give credit to Lamar that those are important and valuable life lessons, but I think I have to disagree with him that we should all stop after kindergarten. And by virtue of you being in this room, you probably and obviously agree that we should, though we learn wonderful lessons in kindergarten, we should venture on further along the way. For each of you, I know that journey has been unique. As Provost Reese said, for some of you it may have been a straight line, right? Straight from kindergarten to here at WVU and undergraduate, straight line. For others, there likely have been detours along the way. But I imagine for everyone, the journey has had its share of triumphs, but also challenges, setbacks, and even failures. And I can tell you, I speak from firsthand experience that I have had all of those. As you heard, my journey began from a small town in southern West Virginia, Bluefield, West Virginia. I was inspired to be a physician by Marcus Welby, MD. Now, some of you in the room a little younger than me are going to have to Google that. But Marcus Welby, MD, was a TV physician. Think of it, graduates, as your Grey's Anatomy. And Dr. Welby not only cared about his patients inside the exam room, he cared about his patients outside of the exam room. He cared about community. And so from those dreams and inspirations of a little girl to my undergraduate, graduate medical school experiences here at WVU, to going on to being engaged and involved in organized medicine, to being the current president of the American Medical Association, as you heard, the first African American woman elected to that position. All I can say is thank you, thank you. Believe me, I take West Virginia in my heart everywhere I go, as I have this wonderful opportunity this year. And what a journey it has been. So my purpose today is to give you a little encouragement, a little real talk, as people say, and a little advice from lessons that I've learned on my journey, and by the way, I'm still learning, as you celebrate this milestone and prepare to take the next step on your journeys, both in your chosen professions, but also in your personal journeys. So here's the first lesson. Be curious. Here's where those ABCs come in handy, right? Because as much as you have already read, read more. Commit to being a lifelong learner and put that commitment to work both in and out of your profession. Yes, read your professional journals, but also read literature and read about history. Make sure that you are always on a quest for knowledge. I'm currently reading my medical journals, but I'm also reading Rush, a biography of one of the lesser-known founding fathers and signers of the Declaration of Independence. He was a physician, and he was also a strong advocate for mental health way back then. So always be curious and open and willing to learn about and engage with others who don't live near you, who don't look like you, or who don't believe like you. Next, hone your critical thinking skills and be self-aware. Ask yourselves questions, ask others questions, challenge their assumptions, challenge your own assumptions. That's necessary because we currently live in an environment where unfortunately there's a lot of disinformation and misinformation. So be curious about your sources of information, just as you check the sources in your research papers. Again, check the sources of your information in your spirit and quest for continued knowledge and curiosity. Be open to intergenerational learning. We can learn so much from one another. By the way, no generation has the market cornered on wisdom. Now, certainly, and I know the hashtags, and we can have a little sense of humor about our respective generations. Often when I'm speaking, I will give an old fogey alert. You know, I'm honest and self-aware, as I've told you, about my own old fogey biases. But let's commit, again, to learning from one another. Certainly, I know that so much I can learn from those who are younger than me, and so much I can learn from those who are older than me. We have to get beyond the I win, you lose narrative. Life is so much more rich when we do so. Say yes. There will be opportunities that will come your way that may take you out of your comfort zone. But know that your talent, hard work, and persistence have prepared you for those opportunities. So say yes. I did so once. Someone offered me a job in government. I said, absolutely not. I like my freedom. I like my autonomy in private practice. But fortunately, I got good advice. Someone told me to say yes. I did, and it was the best decision I ever made. Now, as I remind you or encourage you to say yes, you also have to say no. I hate the phrase, you can have it all. I don't even know what that means, but I do know it's important to set boundaries and not to take on everything. And please, always, always remember self-care. So say yes and be prepared for those opportunities, but you can't say yes to everything. Be courageous. Now notice I didn't say be fearless. Fear is a normal human emotion from which none of us can escape. But being courageous is accepting that fear, taking a deep breath, and forging ahead. Enjoy the journey. And yes, that does include sometimes embracing the yuck, right? We all have the yuck. We've talked about the detours and the setbacks and the failures. There will be failures in your future, but that's okay. What's important is to learn from those failures, but make those lessons matter. Now, my final and most important piece of advice comes from the immortal words of Quavo, Takeoff, and Offset. That's right, Migos. Okay, now it's the older folks' turn, my age, to Google. But Migos is a hometown group from Atlanta. And by the way, I will only be sharing the G-rated lyrics. And I'm old, remember that, and not a rapper. But what phrase has Migos made famous? Walk it like I talk it, walk it like I talk it. You know, it's profound in its simplicity and wisdom. But I'm going to flip it, because I want you also to remember the converse. Talk it like you walk it. As students of this fine institution, you have already proven that you can walk the walk. You have completed a rigorous course of study, and you have either earned or will earn finally your degree that many people can only dream of. But now you must truly talk the walk. Now you must have confidence to stand in your authentic voice. What do I mean by that? Have faith in your beliefs and speak them out loud. And by the way, that sometimes will mean speaking truth, sometimes uncomfortable truths to power. Every generation has its own challenges. For you, these challenges include living in and mastering ever-changing technology without losing the human touch of human connection and sense of community. Coping with information that's coming at you from all sides, and living in an age of anxiety and distrust. But your actions and words can be powerful as you meet these and other challenges. So your words matter, your voice matters. As each of you takes the next step in your careers, you will need to discover and continue to discover your authentic voice and stand firm against the headwinds that will sometimes try to knock you off course. Perhaps you will be younger and inexperienced compared to your colleagues, supervisors, and coworkers. You may be afraid to speak up. Perhaps you will encounter those who attempt to dismiss you or marginalize you. I have experienced all of those challenges. There were those who doubted me, even discouraged me from becoming a physician. There have been times when I was certain that everyone in the room, from the classroom to the boardroom, was smarter than I was. Many times, I've been the first or the only in the room, and even I believed I didn't belong. There were times when I had a different opinion than everyone else in the room, and I just knew I must be wrong. There were times that I worried, and still do, that if I raised a countervailing opinion, I would be perceived as angry. But I can say this for sure. As I look back on all of those times, when I didn't speak up, I wished I had, and when I did, I'm so glad that I did. You graduates will have privilege that places you in the room where it happens, to use a reference from the musical Hamilton. So have faith in your belief, have faith in yourselves, and stand in your authentic voice. As Maya Angelou said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. And I can guarantee that when you stand in your authentic voice, you will know up here and feel in here that you have done the right thing. And so, graduates, a final congratulations. As you leave this wonderful institution with a diploma in hand, knowledge gained and lessons learned, and with a greater purpose in mind, I wish you well as you work to achieve your individual goals, but also our common goals as a community and as a nation. So leave here today, again, with your credentials, with passion, and with grace as you continue on the next journey, the next phase of your lives. Thank you, and congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy a performance of Simple Gifts.
Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shall not be ashamed. To turn, 'twill be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight.
As we begin the recognition of our graduates, the dean of each college is invited to step forward as his or her degree candidates approach the stage to join Provost Reed in congratulating the class of 2019. Provost Reed, we present to you the young men and women who fulfill the requirements for graduation from West Virginia University. I now present the candidates for graduation from the School of Medicine. Doctorate degree in neuroscience, Tiffany Jo Patrisco. Doctor of Medicine, Alec D. James. Master's degree candidates in Health Sciences, Cheyenne Alisa Earl, Jennifer Marie Bresney, and Latoya Desiree Eplinger. Master's degree candidates in health sciences, pathologist assistant, Taylor Nicole Lonnieborger. Elizabeth May Friend. Lindsay Ann Elizabeth Gasper. Michael Allen Gellner. Miranda Rose Janusik. Tyler Kufal. Hannah Elizabeth Polster. Kelly Megan Stake. Elizabeth Talamo. Now the bachelor's degree candidates from the School of Medicine, Naja Alnawan. Sierra Eva Brower. Marina Lynn Brown. Madison Ann Collins. Stephen Reese Donahue. Ryan Alexander Hayes. Haley Michelle Henderstone. Courtney Marie Kazmarek. Silas Garcia Mason. Maria Nicole Myers. Amanda Dawn Neff. Juliana Maria O'Reilly. Kristen Shea Ranson. Chase Andrew Stevens. Taylor Ann Tallman. Ronnie Lynn Taylor. Corinne Elizabeth Ollum. Justin Michael Williams. I now present the degree candidates from the School of Nursing. Doctor of Nursing Practice, Tammy Michelle Clutter. Now the bachelor's degree candidates from the School of Nursing, Raheel Olnemer. Molly Alexis Beaver. Samantha Belso. Megan Virginia Blount. Rashay Nicole Bohr. Molly Jane Colden. Caitlin Marie Conk. Emmeline Dale Corbin. Emma Elizabeth Degelman. Autumn Dishman. Megan Brianna Estep. Amanda Christine Genovese. Stephanie Renee Helmick. Makaylee Hidalgo. Elena Grace Jones. Hannah Lauren Kidwell. Caitlin Brooke Kuhn. Raven Kristen Lash. Kristen Renee Lawfulby. Matthew Keith Lowther. Mitchell Robert McCourt. Caleb Jonathan McDonald. Shannon Rowe McDonald. Shannon Brooke McGinnis. Helen Rachel Melnick. Chantry Lynn Michael. McKenna Yvonne Miles. Stephanie Mangudi Mukumbu. Mia Norden. Allison Michelle O'Connell. Shelby Payne. Afton Petrove, Haley Alexis Shreve, Cameron Jeffrey Robert Shoemaker, Glenn J. Stewart Taylor, Abby Marie Swartz, Brenna Ashlyn Turner, Alexandra Malin Walsh, Samantha Wormers, Jessica Lynn Adam, Christopher Michael Justice II, Tara Lynn Bess Smith, I now present the degree candidates from the School of Pharmacy. Doctor of Philosophy, School of Pharmacy, Tiffany Gertrude Kornberg. Doctor of Philosophy, School of Pharmacy, Catherine Adair Roach. I now present the degree candidates from the School of Public Health, bachelor's degree candidates. Kenzie DeRay Blasinski, Rachel Ellen Baker, Arati Bacolis, Samantha Elizabeth Bradley, Michelle Irene Brownlee, Julie Lindy Carey, Kayla Lynn Deno, Hannah Elizabeth Glavin, Amber Renee Gossett Bailey, Hannah Catherine Griffith, Mitchell Watts Gulen, Samantha Dawn Hoopengarner, Mackenzie Sarah Brooke Kemp, Emma Margaret Larson, Jamie Marie Long, Hannah Ray Mayer, Jessica Nicole Messenger, Nicole Marie Morgan, Sheree Monique Palmer, Catherine Sophia Polanco, Carly J. Peischer, Chase Robbins, Brittany Tyesha Smith, Cassie Lynn Smith, Marluce Anika Ziren, I now present the degree candidates from the College of Creative Arts. Doctorate degree in collaborative piano, Jian Lee. Doctoral candidate in music composition, Douglas Wayne Brown. Doctoral candidate in performance, Christopher Charles Bowmaster. Doctoral degree candidate in performance, Karen Alexis Crozier. Doctoral degree candidate in performance, Emmett Curtis Goods. Doctoral candidate in performance, Julianne Elizabeth Laird. Doctoral candidate in performance, Cynthia Ortiz Bartley. Doctoral candidate in performance, Anthony James Walker. Now the bachelor's degree candidates from the College of Creative Arts, Braden Zane Makia, Quinn Taylor Constance, Emily Grace Allred, Margaret Estelle McLister, Callie Elizabeth Robinson, Clayton McCloskey, Colton McCloskey, Catherine Elaine Mills, Zachary Eli Rowand, Kayla Noel Stewart, Dallas Kent Wright, Kara Jean Bennett, Sarah Ann Bloomquist, Abigail Leanne Rexroad, Peter William Handerhan, I now present the candidates for graduation from the College of Education and Human Services. Doctor of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, Myra Miller. Doctor of Education, Educational Psychology, Heather Lisbeth Henderson. Doctor of Philosophy, Counseling Psychology, Thomas Craig Foster. Doctor of Philosophy, Counseling Psychology, Erin Ann Tafe. Doctor of Philosophy, Higher Education, Kirsten N. Brown. Doctor of Philosophy and Higher Education, Matthew Matasovsky. Doctor of Philosophy and Higher Education, Amanda Marie Rose. Now the master's degree candidates, Deborah Lee Leegee, Tracy Nicole Gibson, Sarah Catherine Chun Harvey, Tanisha Marie James, Jordan Williams, Julie Ann Drennan, Kelly Ann Mosey, Amy Elizabeth Reynolds, Laura Bell Brown, Catherine Josephine Pellegrin, Hillary Dawn Ensminger, Deanna Marie Chuchilio Fisher, Casey Gaffner, Nicole Ray Knight, Lauren Lee Johnson, Haley Jean Shafran, Amy Elizabeth Wright, Tracia Gail Llewellyn, Daenerys Moika, now the bachelor's degree candidates: Tamia Yulia Isis Johnson, Carrie Ann Lee, Natalia Marie Chambers, Allison Lane Marie Conrad, Emily Jo Davis, Carly Brooke Gordon, Taylor Christine Mazalan, Olivia Jade Hariff, Rebecca Ann McCormick, Sarah Ann Moore, Allison Renee Morris, Samantha N. Park, Lauren Nicole Patain, Julia Brooke Reed, Tori Alexa Reed, Summer Renee Robinson, Savannah Clarice Rund, Ashley Michelle Schaefer, Megan Elizabeth Conroy, Erica Dawn Gorman, Brooke Jennings, Abigail Elizabeth Kuhn, Caitlin Marie Lammers, Lauren Light, Emma Lynn Martin, Charla Brooke McDaniel, Kenyani Shunde Simpson, Rebecca Lee Woodell, I now present the candidates for graduation from the College of Physical Activity and Sport Sciences. Doctor of Education in Physical Education, Annie Mockamer. Now the master's degree candidates: Keenan Lynn Bunn Pope, Daniel M. Clements, Dominic Monroe Campisi, Ethan Howland, Justin Michael Rubel, Ashton Blake Gibson, Caitlin Michelle Woods, Jordan Scott Brown, Andrew Michael Azuz, Matthew Cranance, Keenan Barbazet, Giovanni Malik Stewart, Jonathan Bird, Melinda Jean Gallagher, Shane Michael Swayze, Cameron Lee Haynes, Matthew Lawrence Smith, Kevin Pereira, Madison Lee Mowry, Benjamin Holly, Jordan Lanier, Kevin Christopher Zimmerman. Luke Rusillo. Joseph Rusillo. Morgan Newman. Dominic Lepper. Beth Cook. Ryan Thomas Ward. Joshua Floyd Inskeep. Neil Mahesh Rao. Alec Friedman. Renee Powers. Riley Ann Foster. Eric Lucas Dickman. Kyle Poland. Kennedy Trevon McCoy. Jeffrey Pooler Jr. Miles Wesley Lucas. Joseph Gould. Christian Zeisloft. Liam Patrick Mahoney. Tyler Edward Sersega. Pascal Derbarich. I now present the candidates for graduation from the Davis College of Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Design. Doctoral candidate in Plant and Soil Science, Sujin Park. Doctoral candidate in Plant and Soil Sciences, Yu-Chun Shu. Doctoral candidate in Forest Resources Science, Changel Zhang. Now the master's degree candidates from the Davis College, Tallman Wayne Hilton. Now the bachelor's degree candidates, Donald Albright, Douglas Kirk Allen, Elizabeth Jordan K. Ammons, Brooke Erin Barnum, Jordan Elizabeth Beasley, Aaron Michael Burkmeyer, Matthew Zane Booth, Bailey Brewer, Catherine Faith Carpenter, Brendan Matthew Casey, Carolyn Ann Cavender, Victoria Hope Chisler, Anna Collins, Trevor O'Day Connolly, Justin Deckelbaum, Zachary Andrew Kraus, Megan Lee Crumlick, Micah Rochelle Cunningham, Mackenzie DeFranco, Domenico Dunbar, Colton Eisworth, Alex Jonathan Falicki, Jenna Rose Floyd, Andrew Gable, Jonathan Gordon, Tyler Good, Ryan Kevin Harris, Devin Keziah Henry, Robert Elliott Hickey, Emily Jane Hummel, Ian Duncan Hunt, Jana Elizabeth Hurst, Jenna Humphreys, Alexis Paige Jones, Tess Eva Jansen, Brianna Lynn Jenkins, Ashlyn Dawn Kelly, Catherine Virginia Liss, Levi Lorson, Christian Mayer, Jeff Mandelbaum, Ever A. Medina, Bailey Arthur Mueller, Nicholas J. Muha, Cameron Murray, Sean Miles, Chardonnay Rose Miller, Sydney Elizabeth Maxwell, Megan Neff, Liam O'Hara, Tatiana Zarin Parsons, Ashley Nicole Pitzer, Riley Plant, Cassidy Roche, Katie Lee Sines, Ty Shannon, Randy Scott Slife, Emily Smith, Amos Philip Stead, Lindsay Nicole Stidham, Joshua Matthew Sills, Wyatt Mark Stoof, Nicholas Swigert, Dalton Tu, Nathaniel Joel Turner, Brooklyn Shanae Thomas, Lydia Ann Torres, Dustin Robert Trickta. I now present the candidates for graduation from the Benjamin M. Statler College of Engineering and Mineral Resources. Doctorate degree in Mechanical Engineering, Matthew Thomas Boots. Doctorate degree in Mechanical Engineering, Maddie Darzy. Doctoral degree in Electrical Engineering, Alexander Todd DeLello. Doctoral degree in Mechanical Engineering, Shen Shan Hu. Doctoral degree in Civil Engineering, Jonas Covey. Doctoral degree in Electrical Engineering, Mohammad Reza Kalgani. Doctoral degree in Material Science and Engineering, He Shah. Doctoral degree in Computer Science, Syed Ashakur Rahman. Doctoral degree in mechanical engineering, Pan Pan Ren. Doctoral degree in aerospace engineering, Andrew Patrick Rhodes. Doctoral degree in mechanical engineering, Cesar Octavio Romo de la Cruz. Doctoral degree in aerospace engineering, Ryan Watson. Doctoral degree in mechanical engineering, Koji Yanega. Now the master's degree candidates from the Statler College, Mujadat Adeyemo, Fares Youssef Ali, Bashir Al-Saneh, Damalola Samuel Epa, Brandon Douglas Brown, Harshini Chakuri, Hunter David Coker, Alexandra Michelle Botts, Mohammed El Mahdi, John Francis Freshour III, Jesse Arnold Griffiths, Rhett Melvin Haslacker, Brady Hinkle, Logan Riley Landis, Joel Christopher Lindsay, Michael Don Menard, Nasheed Mirza, Bailey Moore, Abe Colonis Nelson IV, James Cody Nemo, Mohammed Iqbal Nonyed, Sakin Sa, Madison Lee Alexis Thompson, Gideon Oziama Uduchukwu. And now the bachelor's degree candidates, Addison Nicole Nordstrom, Ezra Abdullah, Ahmed Mohammed Abul Rahi, Mohammed Fake Adenin, Fasal Al-Zami, Saud Al-Jmi, Ahmad Al-Azimi, Nayaf Adalmani Sr., Abdullah Bashir, Imad Muhammad Al-Hajaji, Abdulaziz Ahmed Al-Jabari, Abdul Rahman Al-Jene, Abdullah Al-Kandari, Khalifa Al-Aktib, Talal Al-Mutari, Abdul Hadi Al-Talmemi, Abdullah Al-Tani, Abdullah Fasal Al-Wasan, Yusef Al-Zahar, Mohammed Ghazi A. Al-Zair, Ali Ani, Alexandra Augsburger, Josiah Patrick Bailey, Matthew Bergenstock, Chase Stephen Bantam, Delvis Joseph Bro III, Christopher Wilson Brindle, John Thomas Bush, Austin Daniel Campbell, James Carnes, Matthew Sean Chapman, George Carl Chory Jr., Stephen Cochran, Dylan Andrew Koger, Kendall Weldon Coles, Alexandra Collins, Ian Hunter Covert, Charles Mitchell Crutchfield, Jonas Omema Bradu Jr., Drew Lewis Damage, Christian David D'Angelo, Adnan Dashti, Mackenzie Day, Andrew Nicholas Day Lay, David Michael Bolinsky, Jack Kenneth Depker, John Tyler Forker, Dennis Faribaugh, Mackenzie Lauren Frolich, Artem Gavrilev, Andrew Giletto, Jacob Fannin Jelinski, Kyle Gillis, Morgan Jessica Gray, Addison Faith Grisbaum, Cole Thomas Hand, James Hannon, John Arthur Patrick Hayes, Charles Keith Heisler Jr., Wade Henry, George Augustine Fish Henry, Alexander Wayne Herring, Megan Christine Hill, William Maxwell Holland, Samantha Ingrid Holm, Matthew Nolan Howard, Emma Gabriel Hubert, Christopher David Allen Huff, Jason D. Huffman, Jack Isaac Hull, Joshua Robert Ingersoll, Leah Elizabeth Jankowski, Ellis Glenn Johnson IV, Justin Cockle, Junad Karim, Jaya Shivani Karlapati, Matthew Richardson Keaton, Gunnar Paul Kelly, Andrew William King, John Kolar, Timothy Clayton Kuzer, Matthew David Landis, Chad Robert Lawrence, Selena Jane Lewis, Dylan Jack Loudon, Matthew Love, Joshua Mallet, John A. McCauley, Graham Alexander McConnell, Samuel Vincent McCraith, Cheyenne Colin McGonigal, Michael Moses, Abdullah Mamdu Najjar, William Seth Murphy, Devin Renee Mines, Bradley Evan Neft, Thomas Nyland, Osarachu Victor Nazrebe, Gabriel Okoy, Julio Oriana, Ryan Mark Paddock, Kyle Bryant Palomino, Philip Pennock, Hallie Marie Peterson, Brian Samuel Price, Jacob Pietro Pino, Kyle Powers, Zachary Ron, Kenneth Christian Radilius, Elizabeth Rose Ridgway, Lucas Wade Ritchie, Jackson Randall Roberts, Zachary Stephen Roman, Christy Rumble, Pranav Sabharwal, Richard Michael Sonoba, David Colin Schmidt, Tariq Scott, Corey Scott Schaefer, Michael Tyler Schaefer, Philip Logan Sheridan, Matthew Robert Sherwood, Caleb Michael Sims, Ashley Marie Skirdick, Darren Zachary Smith, Ian James Sparkman, Matthew Joseph Sprouse, Youssef Abdulaziz Shamo, Yinke Soon, Cameron Sutton, Shane Swearman, Brian Edward Sweeney, Chris Robert Seidner, Morgan Safransky, Dylan Andrew Tross, James Turner, Matthew Jordan Valentine, Tatiana Calderon Voorhees, Michael Warner, Ross Damian Weedman, William Wensler, Melissa Lynn Wormers, Joseph Donald Wheeling, Benjamin Wiley, Matthew Williams, Laura K. Williamson, Jordan Taylor Willis, Joshua Larry Wilt, Jacob Nathaniel Bennett Winokur, Carrie Lynn Winston, Joseph Wolf, Grant Benjamin Wooten, Samuel W. Uhas, Thomas Keel Zadell, Provost Reed, this concludes the presentation of the candidates for graduation.
So this is it. The last time we can refer to you as students. As soon as I confer your degrees, you will become graduates and alumni of West Virginia University. Pretty exciting, right? I know I speak on behalf of everyone here. We are so thankful that you chose West Virginia University for your education and as your home away from home. We are so proud of your accomplishments, and we can't wait to see where your journey takes you next. As you take these next steps, remember to stay close to your family, the people who will stand by you no matter what. Be grateful for their love and support. And now I'd like to ask the parents and the family members of today's graduates to please stand and accept our thanks and gratitude. No, not yet. Also, stay in touch with your professors who are also so very proud of you. They have enlightened you with new ideas and empowered you to push beyond your boundaries. Would West Virginia University's faculty members please stand and be recognized? And finally, no matter where life takes you, be sure to keep the gold and blue spirit in your heart, showing others what can be achieved here. Here is where you found your purpose and your passion, and hopefully your friends for life. Here is where many of you started school as teenagers and are now leaving as young adults, future scholars, and professionals. Please know that our faculty, staff, advisors, and administration will always be here for you. Whether you need a recommendation letter or just an attaboy or attagirl, just ask and we will deliver. We are now part of your extended family, here to support you, cheer you on, and to brag about your success. And just remember that no matter where life leads you, no matter how far you travel, you will always have a place where you belong at West Virginia University. Once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. Let's go. And now for the moment you've been waiting for. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. As West Virginia University's newest graduates, you may move your tassels to the left side of your cap. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Graduates, please stand. University marshals will release you in an orderly manner after the platform party exits the floor.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, missed a taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning hours. She calls me. The radio